effect, he therefore stood at 39.123 trillion naira, higher than the second quarter of 2020, with aggregate GDP of 34.023 trillion naira. And with me in the studio to discuss the increase in Nigeria's gross domestic product is a development economist, Mr. Ni Akinsuju. Thanks for joining us on Nationwide and welcome to our studio.
The pleasure as always. Thanks so much for the privilege.
Okay. This is not the first time Nigeria is recording GDP growth in real terms. Why is this 5.01 growth in the second quarter of 2021 a reason to be cheerful?
Well, perhaps for some followers of the economy, it's unexpected. It was not anticipated. Like some people would say, it's even as the National Bureau of Statistics put it, it's a steady growth, for which I take a departure from that description. It's not a steady growth. Yes, you can describe the growth between the fourth quarter 2020 at 0.11 to the first quarter 2021 at 0.51, but the jump from 0.51 in first quarter to 5.1, in the second quarter is not steady. It's a surge. It's an impressive surge, and for me, it's not again. To describe it as the return to normalization, that is to attribute this growth to the return to normalization, does not also capture the essence of this number. Okay. What should capture it would be policy deployment, appropriate policy deployment in the right sectors and segments of the economy, because one, the major driver of our GDP had been the oil and gas sector. Yeah. And when we fell, to 3.5% in fourth quarter 2014, it was principally because crude oil price had crashed. We fell from a high of 6.2% in second quarter 2014, when the price of crude oil started falling. From a high of 120 on the average to $80, $75. By the fourth quarter, we had fallen progressively. By the fourth quarter, we fell to 3.5% from that 6.2% in second quarter. By the second quarter of 2015, we had gone to a low of 2.35%, principally because of crude oil, price of crude oil. Now, don't forget that as it were then, we went into a recession, again because of the price of crude oil. Yeah. So I think what this government did, and which I'm impressed and I commend them for, was to start targeting the non-oil sector. Yeah. And that had been the aspiration for most governments through so many years in this country, to really diversify the economy. So if we have this kind of figure today, it is because the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan targeted the non-oil sector, supported agriculture, supported mining, supported manufacturing, supported ICT, Then, by the time we retired the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, and then we had, in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the government also deployed the Economic Sustainability Program too, again targeting SMEs, the small-scale traders, the small-scale producers, targeted manufacturers. About 3-point-something trillion naira was deliberately plugged, injected into the economy between the CBN and the fiscal authority. Okay, what other areas of the economy should we keep an eye on to maintain? I call it steady. You said it's a surge. At least to maintain this growth. Well, I am expecting another surge, as it were, because the normalization impacts. But we have seen recovery now in the transportation sector, and in that sector, it's mainly in the road sector. So we expect growth in the airline sector, and of course the shipping sector. You still have about 3 or 4 segments in that sector. The real sector, it's also growing. The manufacturing sector is gathering momentum. And don't forget that there is a lot of policies, either at the level of the CBN or at the level of the fiscal authorities, to support manufacturers. Okay. Now, there is ease of access to forex by manufacturers. Okay. We had before this second quarter, there were challenges of manufacturers sourcing, for forex for their raw materials import and machinery and all that. But now there's also ease of access that would eventually impact their productivity. There's also support at the level of agriculture. Agriculture serves two fundamental purposes. It adds to our GDP and has to our well-being in terms of food security. Yeah. So by the time those policies are well focused and perhaps challenges around security, are well taken care of, we will also see further boosts in all those sectors. And the most important thing is that for these two important sectors, the manufacturing sector and the agriculture sector, also play a role in creating jobs. And of course, we know as a result of the COVID-19, we had challenges, with unemployment. The unemployment figures more or less skyrocketed. Principally because businesses were closed.
I won't let you go without making a comment on the Petroleum Industry Act. We are talking about, despite the fact that the non-oil sector is doing very well now, we're also talking about linking a very critical sector of the economy, which is the oil and gas, through the Petroleum Industry Act. What do you think? How do you think this is going to impact our growth going forward?
It's huge. Okay. For the first time, we now actually have a petroleum industry. That is what the PIA has done. Yeah. You have a petroleum industry that is not only regulated, but is in the public space. All participants, investors, and everybody involved in the value chains know exactly what they are contending with. And of course, in terms of pricing, because the issue of pricing has been the limitation, for the petroleum sector, so you now know what exactly you are engaging with. In fact, also, the transformation of NNPC, the expected transformation of NNPC is going to make Nigeria richer, more efficient. And when we are talking about the PIA attracting investors, the essential thing we are saying is that now the investors know what they are playing with, but more than that, the PIA also provided for reduction in some levies and taxes players in that industry will be paying.
Mr. Nia Kinsuju, we can't end this. It's an ongoing discussion. So thank you so much for being part of Nationwide.
My pleasure.
We'll invite you some other time again.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
And we are not done with the financial matters, as the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission is calling for public support towards the success of the ongoing review of the nation's revenue allocation formula, set to be delivered before the end of the year. Chairman of the commission, Elias Mbam, made a request while interacting with journalists in Abuja. Benny Adams has that.
The chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Elias Mbam, revealed that the present vertical revenue allocation formula is 28 years in operation and does not reflect present realities, as the federal government and special funds take home 52.6%, with the state holding on to 26.72% and the local government 20.6%. While attempts to actualize the review in August 2001, December 2002, May 2003, September 2004, and in 2014 has been inconclusive. Mbam, however, believes that this is about to change before the end of the year.
The Commission is highly determined to produce within the shortest possible time a new revenue sharing formula that will be fair, just, and equitable to the three tiers of government. The Commission has programmed to complete this review process by the end of 2021.
Part 1, Paragraph 32B of the third schedule of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, empowers the Commission to review from time to time the revenue allocation formula to ensure conformity with present realities. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
And it's time to head to Lagos. Michael is on standby. It's over to you.
Hawa. Adopting business and cloud intelligence, among other technological solutions, remain fundamental for easy monitoring, expansion, and forecasting in the nation's capital market operations. Amaka Owo reports that these, among other suggestions, were the views of experts on enhancing digital innovation in the operations of the capital markets.
The capital market connects people for the purpose of buying and selling financial products globally, such as stocks, bonds, and currencies. The Nigerian capital market has evolved over the years as experts believe that time for paper pushing has ended, with market operators and investors continually embracing dynamics in digital innovation.
The Nigerian Stock Exchange launched, they basically, revamped their entire engine and launched, introduced some world-class engine that they currently use for trading stocks.
In March 2020, the Nigerian Exchange Group activated business continuity plans as part of swift response to curb the spread of COVID-19, thereby reducing human interface. This led to a spike in online trading of equities put at 72.90%.
The capital market ecosystem, the regulators, the investors, the operators are already aware of the importance of using technology to drive their operation. So it was a seamless transition.
With the dynamics in digital technology phasing out bricks and mortar techniques, analysts believe more needs to be done.
We need to adopt cloud intelligence. It's the way forward. If we now want to go deeper, we then start looking at how you use regression analysis, modeling, use machine learning, use AI to now intelligently forecast and predict what markets will be.
There's an app that we are also working on, looking at it from the angle of analyzing African market as a whole, so as to create a kind of a leverage for foreign investors to look at African market and pick the best.
Data, they say, is the new oil. Therefore, harnessing the strengths of digital solutions will contribute to increasing and sustaining investors' confidence, as well as encourage more companies to get listed for a more robust capital market in the country.
More than 220 military officers' wives, drawn from the Nigerian Army, Navy, and Air Force, have benefited from a 4-week short-term skills acquisition vocational training organized by the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation in Lagos. Musa Tolias completes the reports.
Selfless sacrifices by the Nigerian armed forces to defend the territorial integrity of the nation often take them away from the home front and leave their wives and families vulnerable. Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation is, however, proving that it is not overlooking this group of families by empowering the wives of the armed forces with requisite vocational skills to go around prevailing poverty amongst women, occasioned by the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the economy.
The Lagos State government is aware of the prevailing economic challenges posed by this development to businesses across the state, and this is why there has been various measures formulated and implemented to ameliorate this economic downturn.
The formed alliance today projects a brighter future of entrepreneurial progress for our women. As the better halves of our military officers, you will not only be financially literate, but also employers of labor, contributing towards economic growth of our nation.
Participants were trained in various vocations, including hair and wig making, fabric embellishments, cosmetics and insecticide production, throw pillows and duvet making, tie and dye, as well as event management and Ankara crafts.
We are glad that the Lagos State government shares in our unique challenges and has taken a bold step to be part of the solution.
The short-term vocational skills acquired elicited testimonies from these wives of the armed forces.
It has taught me some aspects of the balloon decoration which I was not confident in. Now I'm a bit confident in it.
And with this empowerment, I should be able to do better than where I was before.
Certificates of completion and startup materials were presented to the participants. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
This is Nationwide, reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. And let's take a short break. The news continues shortly with Chineye in Enugu.
Has commenced second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. If you are 18 years and above and unvaccinated, register at www.nphcda.vaccination.gov.ng. Visit the nearest vaccination site to receive COVID-19 vaccine. If you received first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine before 8th July 2021, second dose commences 23rd August and closes 5th September 2021. All vaccines are free and certified safe by WHO and NAFDAC. At the vaccination site, you can check blood pressure and know your diabetes risk status. Children aged 0 to 23 months will receive childhood vaccines and screen for malnutrition. After vaccination, continue to adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols. For more information, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Admission forms into NTA Television College JOS 2021-2022 two-year National Innovation Diploma Program are on sale from 9th of August to 29th of October 2021. Candidates who wish to apply for admission must have 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects including English language and mathematics. The courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. The admission forms can be obtained at NTA Television College or any NTA station nationwide at the cost of 7,500 Naira only. Payment for the form is through Remitter platform only in favor of NTA Television College. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
Firstly, safety. I will ensure that my family members and loved ones are safe.
I'll try as much as possible not to get involved.
You should call the nearest police station.
I will alert my family, my friends, my neighbors in that vicinity that this is what is happening.
Who wins the star prize of 1 million naira in the ongoing Peace Nigeria Challenge, powered by Ask Nigeria in partnership with National Council for Arts and Culture, NCAC, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and Star Times. Unity Challenge Nigeria, stronger together.
Fresh off a 5-0 thrashing by Manchester City, Norwich will welcome another Premier League champion in the form of Leicester City. Will they be able to save themselves from another humbling result? Find out this Saturday as Norwich City take on Leicester City from 2:30 p.m, showing on the network service of the NTA. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Thank you so much for staying on. Welcome to Enugu. The need to attract investors and funding to the oil palm sector by the federal government outside the budgetary allocations has been emphasized at a stakeholders meeting on oil palm value chain. Chika Ugo reports that the meeting with the theme addressing issues towards sustainable development in all of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Stakeholders meeting is organized to critically examine issues that can contribute to the country's sustainable exploitation of oil palm for economic development, address challenges faced by farmers, as well as fashion out ways to boost the oil palm industry.
This year, farmers have planted close to 50 to 60,000 stands of oil palm seedlings in Enugu State, and we are still hoping to plant more.
Well, the essence is to empower the oil palm growers association to produce more
palms, which will bring yield more fruits and oil, both for domestic use and exports.
While commending President Muhammadu Buhari for his massive investment in agriculture, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, who was represented at the forum, noted that the federal government has continued to initiate training programs for farmers, supply improved seedlings, and grant loans to farmers in the country.
We need to work on ways we can recover our lost glory in oil palm production. Oil palm can rework this economy.
All the key players at the forum identified oil palm produce as one of the sure ways of ensuring economic growth, employment, and sustainable diversification.
Oil palm is among the commodity value chains being promoted by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Luckily, we have all the critical stakeholders who are here to look at all the issues that our members have, the preferred solutions.
The meeting featured a technical session where issues get towards sustainable development of oil palm and modalities on how farmers can access loan through the CBN were discussed. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has implored the Catholic clergy in Nigeria to use their revered offices as ordained men of God to lift Nigeria and her challenges up to God in prayers. The governor made the request when the visiting bishops and archbishops who were in Enugu for a conference dedicated the newly constructed Government House Chapel. Susan Eze reports.
Experience the presence of Christ God forever and ever. Amen.
Dedicating the Enugu State Government House Chapel, the Catholic clergy prayed God to use the chapel as a point of contact for transformation and positive change in the state and the nation. For the state governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, the visit of the Catholic clergymen is both historic and spiritually elevating. The visit, which provided an opportunity for the bishops and archbishops in Nigeria to dedicate the first Government House Chapel, he said, is a rare privilege. The governor appreciated the selfless service of the clergy as they provide spiritual guidance and leadership to humanity, praying God to strengthen them the more. The Catholic prelate, John Cardinal Onaiko, the archbishops and bishops are in Enugu for the second plenary meeting of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. We'll now rejoin Hawa in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Very well, Chinenye. Thank you so much. And moving on, leadership development, discipline, social involvement, and evangelism were the focus at the Youth for Christ annual conference in Abuja. The non-denominational gathering had youth from the ages of 9 to 25 trained on how to develop their leadership skills so as to make positive change in their environment.
At the end of this, we hope that people will be able to, the youth will be able to stand up and understand what it takes to prepare themselves for the leadership position that is ahead.
To impact into the tenets of leadership, communication, and knowing steps to take per time.
This conference to make them understand that leadership starts from now, leadership starts from wherever they are.
The youth were taken through practical skills and knowledge-based training.
I've learned about teamwork, working together, and I also learned about responsibility.
It has helped me to develop my leadership skills and helped me know that I am more than just a leader.
Participants at the conference were drawn from the 6 area councils of the FCT. The Federation of Muslim Women in Nigeria, Form 1, says its vision seeks to create a world where women are empowered to contribute to nation building, especially in the contemporary reality where the coronavirus pandemic has exposed the the vulnerability of women and deepened poverty. National Amira of Form 1, Hajia Halima Jibril, said this at a press conference to kickstart the 36th National Conference of the group in Abuja. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu completes the report.
The common saying that when you educate a woman, you educate and empower the global community readily rings a bell when x-raying the scorecard of the women faith-based group in nationwide stewardship. For years going, the group has, through education, women and children's rights, health, economic empowerment, community development as well as its youth empowerment platforms impact millions of people. This interface with the media is a component of the association's annual conference set to commence in about 24 hours to give account of its stewardship.
Someone is ready to work with partners to close this gap and promote inclusiveness of marginalized groups. We commend the Budget and Planning Ministry, Federal Ministry, for implementing its policy on gender budgeting.
Nigeria presently grapples with security challenges, and this has not gone beyond the notice of Form 1. The association hinted of interface with Northern Governors Forum to collaborate on the Almajiri issues, in addition to deliberate moves to foster intergenerational collaboration to build sustainability and empower youths with leadership skills with a view to tackling restiveness. Ilyasu Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
To other matters now, the way and manner science and technology would be taught and assessed to drive the country towards a knowledge economy encapsulated in the National Policy of Science and Education and Technology Education and its implementation guidelines require robust dissemination to achieve the desired goals. The Federal Ministry of Education brought together commissioners of education from the north central states of the country to bring them up to speed with policy for success. The policy and guidelines also highlight the pre-service and in-service training of teachers of science technology, teacher demand and supply, provision of science infrastructure such as laboratories, workshops, equipment, textbooks and other resources in educational institutions.
It is a component of the national technology policy that is being anchored by the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. So we are focusing on the teaching and learning component of that policy and how we can continually assess the progress we are making in bringing about the future leaders of our country.
The policy lays a more solid foundation on the basis of which Nigeria shall accelerate its industrial and technological development. Benue State government wades into examination crisis in the state. Susan in Makudi is our guide. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hawa. Welcome to Makudi. Following Sunday morning's arson attack on the buildings of government secondary school, say Agbaragba in Konshisha local government area of Benue State, as a result of crisis between some of its students and the school authority, the Benue State government has called for calm as issues surrounding the unfortunate incident are being resolved. Ode Moses Ajao has the details.
It will be recalled that the administrative block of the government secondary school, Tse Agbaragba in Konshisha local government area of Benue State, was set ablaze early hours of Sunday by some aggrieved students of the college in protest over some anomalies regarding their computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examination, also known as WASE. This development was said to have also resulted to the destruction of valuable documents, including original copies of WASE and NECO certificates of past students of the institution. While condemning the act, the Benue State Commissioner for Education, Dennis Itiavia, says the state government is taking steps to ensure the students undertake their examinations without hitching.
The students were supposed to write WAEC, and when they went to write WAEC, they said that they were not registered. So they were very annoyed. Preliminary investigation shows that there was a problem at WAEC in the course of registration. registration. But we are going to talk with WIDEST so that the children who were not registered will be registered.
He appealed to the students to desist from taking laws into their hands and to remain peaceful. The state coordinator, West African Examination Council, declined comments when contacted by our crew. In Makudi, Ode Moses Ajao, NTA News.
The Benue State government says it has received over 100,000 doses of the Moderna and Janssen COVID-19 vaccines from the federal government, preparatory for the second phase rollout of the vaccination in the state. Executive Secretary State Primary Health Care Board Dr. Bem Ageda said the second phase of the vaccination will commence this Friday. Blessing Omeche Ebute has details.
The Benue State government had in March this year flagged off the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccination for frontline health workers as a measure of curtailing the spread of the virus. Few months into this, the state has received another set of doses of the Moderna and Janssen vaccine. The Executive Secretary, Benue State Primary Health Care Board, Dr. Bem Ageda, says all the needed arrangements have been put in place by the state government for the second phase rollout of the vaccines.
They had made provision and sent us ultra-cold freezers, which are the freezers used for storing the Moderna vaccine. We have already commenced training because, for each of these, we need to train people.
He added that delivery of some doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines had also been taken for persons who are yet to take the second jab of the vaccine.
We want to make sure that they get the exact time that they took in the first phase.
He further encouraged people in the state to take advantage of the second phase exercise. On the issue of COVID-19 testing, he said, designated centers, which include all the tertiary health institutions, are available for rapid testing. In Makudi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
And that does it from Makudi. Nationwide continues in Abuja after this commercial break.
The most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sports like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. Star Times. Enjoy digital life. Of TV Guide is out exclusively with Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State.
Since assuming office, our rescue administration has pursued the path of peace and reconciliation and restored confidence among people of different ethnic, religious, and political persuasions. Peace is back on the plateau. We are building world-class infrastructure in roads and opening up opportunities for innovation.
The edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from entertainment, economy, sports, media, politics, family, and lots more.
Pick up a copy and keep abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Fresh off a 5-0 thrashing by Manchester City, Norwich will welcome another Premier League champion in the form of Leicester City. Will they be able to save themselves from another humbling result? Find out this Saturday as Norwich City take on Leicester City from 2:30 p.m, showing on the network service of the NTA. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Thanks for rejoining us. It's Nationwide. A bit on politics now. The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has unanimously adopted the Deputy National Chairman, South, Elder Yemi Akinwumi, as acting National Chairman of the party. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that the adoption was at the NWC meeting of the party in Abuja. The Deputy National Chairman, North of the PDP, Senator Suleiman Nazif, also attended the meeting, which brought all issues surrounding who becomes acting national chairman of the PDP to an end. It will be recalled that Prince Uche Secondus has been restrained from functioning as national chairman of the party following an interim order by a Rivers State High Court. Power and energy generation remain a major point of discuss in the nation's emerging economy. And for energy to become steady and affordable, experts, while discussing ways to enhance the national grid, noted that adequate investment in decentralizing the national grid is key to boosting the amount of energy generated in the economy, as well as required to power the nation. Daniel Aderi tells us more.
The need for increased investment in the power sector. Guests noted that the bottlenecks encountered in power generation do not largely stem from infrastructural deficit, but more from lack of optimal usage of available resources in the sector.
Are you saying that you don't have infrastructural issues at the moment?
We do have, but it is not a critical issue at this point. It's gas supply, gas to power. Most of the power plants do not have firm agreement with their suppliers. So they get this gas on the basis of best endeavor.
Unless, of course, things are done normally, correctly, and according to the law, will not make progress. You can never do any power project without those engineers in power ministry. It can't happen.
The guests also noted that while there may be good policies on ground to propel the power sector forward, lack of coordination among all stakeholders constitutes a clog.
You have too many coordinators, the office of the vice president, the minister of power, the presidency, somebody in the ministry of finance. So we have a very unstructured coordination such that at the end of the day, no matter the investment you throw into this, you just get very little results, as we've seen.
Having a single grid system is far, far better for us. Create redundancies such that when one line fails, we can reroute the system.
They highlighted that for various power projects in the country to yield results, due process and diligence in execution must be strictly adhered to. In Abuja, Daniel Aderiye, NTA News.
And the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, wants the nation to adopt a different approach in the development of methanol fuel technology policy, as it is now time for the country to prepare for a post-crude oil era by strengthening her revenue base. The minister was all out to intimate Nigerians on the importance of domesticating the methanol technology in the country, such that in the future, Nigerian scientists and engineers will develop entrepreneurs and businesses that can compete with the best in the world.
Nigeria is more of a gas nation with huge deposits of natural gas. Natural gas will be useful in the transition which we must prepare our economy so as to effectively cope with the inevitable post-crude oil era that must come. Methanol is the only way now that we're going to use our gas by adding value, changing its state, converting it into something that is very useful, that finds application virtually in all aspects of our economy. The Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation wants to make sure that the limitations we suffered as a nation in the exploitation of crude oil, where we failed to domesticate the technology, will not happen to methanol.
The minister said the sole aim of the ministry is to utilize science, technology and innovation as a catalyst to achieve sustainable economic development, and that is why he is making a case for the methanol-driven economy, which will be beneficial in job creation, technology development and domestication, electricity generation, total gas flare-out, as well as achieving environmental sustainability. And it's time to join Obehi in our Benin Network Center for more reports on Nationwide.
Hello, Hawa. Thanks for joining us in Benin. The Inspector General of Police, Al-Khali Baba Usman, has reaffirmed his commitment to reposition the nation's police force in line with international best practices of crime prevention. He made this known during his working visit to Edo State, where he inspected projects and interfaced with officers and men of the Edo State Police Command. Jude Abugu reports.
The Inspector General, who was in the state to boost the morale of officers and men of Edo State Police Command, demonstrated his commitment to strengthening the capacity of the nation's police force. This he did by visiting the Police Training College and Mopo 5 Mobile Police Force, both in Ogeda in Benin City. He assessed the state of facilities and level of progress with projects being executed in the school through the support of the Edo State government. The inspected projects, which the IGP noted will give the school a facelift, include internal road networks, office buildings, classroom blocks, and training facilities.
Very laudable thing that will not only assist the police, it can assist other security agencies in coming here for training. It will also assist the government.
At the State Police Command headquarters, where the IGP interacted with officers and men of the command, the State Commissioner of Police, Philip Ogbadu, informed him that since the police force rebuilt the confidence of members of the force following the EndSARS protest, the command has been recording series of successes in crime fighting.
Officers' confidence has improved. We have rescued many kidnapped victims and traffic persons.
The visit is the IGP's first official visit to Edo State after assuming office in February this year. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And still on security, the 2-division Nigerian Army Ibadan has organized a 4-day inter-brigade combat proficiency competition, not just as a way of enhancing the proficiency of its officers in fighting insecurity in the country, but also as a morale booster. Kayode Olorundare reports that 32 Artillery Brigade, Owena Cantonment, Akure, Ondo State, was the host of the competition.
The 2021 2-division inter-brigade proficiency competition started with the administration of oath on the participants, drawn from 22 Brigade Ilorin, 4 Brigade Benin, 2 Division Garrison Ibadan, 42 Division Engineering Ibadan, and the host, 32 Artillery Brigade Akure. Declaring the event open, the General Officer commanding 2 Division, Major General Godshibusi, said the proficiency competition became necessary as a way of enhancing the leadership capabilities and organizational abilities of officers to prepare them for emerging threats in view of the current security challenges in the country.
It has further helped the division to positively contribute towards the actualization of the Chief of Army Staff vision to have a professional Nigerian army ready to accomplish assigned missions within the joint environment in defense of Nigeria.
Participants competed in various combat drillings, which include a 3.2-kilometer endurance race, tug of war, and obstacle crossing.
Strategies to end the activities of men of the underworld. The governor gave this indication when he paid a working visit to Maundu, a border community with Zamfara State. Husseina Musa reports.
Maundu, a quiet community in Niger State, is about 80 kilometers from the council's headquarters, Mariga local government area. The community was reportedly dislodged about a year ago following the activities of bandits in the area. This sad reality has compelled the farming households to abandon their ancestral homes and take refuge in some adjoining communities, with attendant consequences on their source of livelihoods, farming and livestock production.
This year we did not farm. We only make do with the food given to us.
The state governor Abakar Sani Bello, in company of key government officials and heads of security agencies, rode on motorcycles to access Maundu from Kasuan Garba, a major weekly village market. Commended the efforts of security operatives deployed to the community to restore peace.
We in Niger State, we do not have any camps for bandits. Unfortunately, they come from neighboring state of Zamfara. They come here, they do their heinous acts, and they go back to Zamfara. There may be significant reduction in food production this year from these locations, which is very unfortunate. Soon, the residents of Maundu will start coming back home to attend to their farms.
The governor pledged continued logistics support, promising that their welfare will be paramount. Imena Hussein Musa, NTA News.
And sports is next, as a 40-year-old hairdresser who abandoned the profession for para-powerlifting 7 years ago and decided to manage herself in sports with her 2 children became the first person to win a gold medal for Nigeria in the ongoing Paralympics Games in Japan. Our correspondent Femi Johnson, who is in Tokyo, reports that 10 other opponents were crushed before she emerged as the outstanding overall winner. His report.
Medalist in the last National Sports Festival in Edo State, Latifat Tijani showed her strength, skill and dexterity to the delight of all sports lovers at the Tokyo International Forum. She defeated 10 other opponents.
If she gets a good lift, that's a good medal for Nigeria. Good lift for Nigeria, and Nigeria has no doubt moved to another level.
I'm so happy and I'm glad that I promised 2016 that I would bring the gold. And I thank God that Almighty Allah gave me the gold.
The national president of para-powerlifting, Rally Shaku, who was extremely happy, says more medals will still come. He added that the Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, has given them enough motivation to make them happier. He also said, on his part, he gave them 100,000 naira for the gold medalist, 70,000 for the silver medalist, and 50,000 for the bronze medalist. He described the efforts of Latifat as motivation for more things to come for Nigeria.
Even though we came with a small number of athletes this time, we came with just about 10 athletes. But I thank God, and definitely we are going to make Nigeria proud. From the 10 athletes, we will see the number of medals we will come out with.
We have done it before, and we are going to do it. It don't matter the athletes this time, we are just few. But I believe that God don't work with multitude. We are not going to disappoint our nation.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Nebeli Sanako, witnessed this session. He described the gold medal won by Nigeria
as a good omen.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, we've been expecting it, and it's a good tonic. We expect more gold in this Paralympics.
It's a very, very overwhelming thing. I'm so overwhelmed at the fact that we've just won our first gold medal in the Paralympics. She's an inspiration to everyone. She has always tried her best and always come up top.
However, Nigeria's Adeshokon Yakubu misses out on the podium finish in the 49-kilogram class behind Omar Sani of Jordan, Great Britain, and Canada. It will be recalled that in powerlifting, Nigeria has been doing very well. Nigeria holds 11 records out of 41 in the powerlifting for the world. International Olympic Committee has already acknowledged Nigeria as one of the best in this event. From Tokyo, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
Thanks, Femi. And sure, more medals for Nigeria are expected. And that's Nationwide today. We thank you for watching. But remember, here at the NTA, we stand against rape and rapists. Partner with us in this fight. Good evening. I'm Hawa Salihu Adama.